people out there that would like to see some gun control come forward, and for the people out there that fear gun control coming forward, I just hope that we can find a way to come together and figure out meaningful ways of gun control in the future. But the reason I'm in favor of letting it go fast is that I just don't think there's anything enforceable.
What's your vote? Yes or no?
Gee, I thought that was pretty. No, or let's see, what do I do? I'm voting yes for the.
I would vote yes, just to be consistent, and I'll refer people to my comments last time this came up. I just don't think this is going to make our community safer, although I wish it could. So I vote yes.
Well, I echo what Councilor Rosenthal said. I understand the will of people to try and protect our community. I mean, I think we all believe that. But this ordinance won't address that. It affects people who have not broken any laws, and to my knowledge have not, committed these crimes. The crimes most people are thinking of are committed for other reasons, and I think we can entertain, some ideas to help deal with those. I think there's other avenues. I personally think it's more of an issue with our broken mental health system. So that's just one area where we should look at those. So, I feel like it's not going to be effective, and we've had a lot of input and debate on this. We've had study sessions, we've had marathon meetings. So I normally wouldn't do this, but I think we've taken a great deal of input on this. So I'm making my vote, and it would be yes.
Marsh?
I'll vote yes. I wasn't quite sure, but I'll try and truncate it.
1 minute, Matt.
Okay. I really came to this debate very eager to see what we could do at the local level, because we are part of a culture that is beset by gun violence. Every time you open a newspaper, there is a shooting, there's a killing, there's a horrible story compelling you. And I said in previous meetings that I thought it was really important for us to do something as a statement of community values. But then something really happened, because every time we talked about this, I realized that what was happening is that we were really causing more splintering in the community. We were all running to our separate corners, and we were fighting over an ordinance that, frankly, as others have said, has very little substance to it. And I started thinking, is there a better way that we can make a statement of community values than through this ordinance? And several of us began meeting, continue to meet, from all sides of the issue to say, what can we do as a community? How can we come together on issues that we do share? Frankly, we can't come to a compromise on the ordinance, but what we have successfully done is to really find some areas that it will be valuable, that if we can move forward, could be valuable. Educating our children, teaching each other how to ask other parents if there are guns in the house, bringing the issue to the fore. So at this point, I'm committed to that process, and I think that is, if we can do anything at the local level, I think it's going to be through sitting down and really talking to each other.
Poison.
Let's remember that we gutted this ordinance ourselves. We asked that there be a person transporting firearms in lockable enclosed vehicle be made an exception. We made it weaker there. We also made it weaker by saying that we would not allow our police officers to ask whether or not a gun was loaded. We weakened this ordinance ourselves. Citizens came forward with a moderate, common sense gun control ordinance, and they did that because they believed that it would increase the safety for children, tourists, and citizens, and alert the populace to guns in public with the power to do something about it. And we're the ones who made this ordinance as weak as it is. And my intent this evening was to come back and add and amend this ordinance so that it would be stronger, so that it would at least be moderate and common sense. And this headline is in an Ashland newspaper. Shooting in Ashland. Here's an opportunity that we had to make sure, or at least provide some citizens a sense of safety about what's happening around guns. And my vote is no.
Morris?
I'll vote yes. You know, the ordinance, I don't believe we made weaker. We asked that it be able to uphold it in a court of law, and I think that's why, we wanted items that have been supported legally. And so that's why a lot of things came out, whether you can ask if someone's got a loaded firearm or not. I don't think that people can. But I honestly think that Pam and the mayor are working at it the right way, and that the ordinance, as the police chief said, was not a public safety issue. It was not a public safety ordinance. So what we really need to do is find a way to make it safer, and I think that group and Pam and the mayor, and I hope you get involved when I have a little more time, can make it actually, we can actually improve safety around firearms in the city of Ashland, and I don't think this ordinance could have done that. So.
Okay, that's everybody? Barb? Okay, so that motion passes 5-1. I'll just say that my position basically is that there wasn't a demonstrated local need. Secondly, the ordinance didn't stop and couldn't stop people from doing open carry because of the state restrictions and the fact that anybody with a concealed weapon permit could carry. So it was kind of a meaningless ordinance in that sense. It only was meaningful in a symbolic way, but it was so out of context for so much of our community in the area that we live in that in fact it was divisive and it was causing open carry, which we already saw, and now we're in the part of the tourist season. So I don't think it achieved what it intended to. The problem of gun violence is awful, but this was an ineffective way to go at it. Okay, so that's the end of the item, and unless somebody...
Should we try to go